What is the absolute best specialist to run to help you dominate servers in Battlefield 2042? Well, actually, you're going to find that this is a pretty surprising answer that we're going to discuss today. So without further ado, remember, if you do enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave it a nice, thick, and juicy like as always. Of course, if you enjoy this kind of content, you want more like it, be sure to hit that big red sexy subscribe button right underneath the video. Also got to thank my channel members, you guys who make these videos possible. If you want to join, get access to the exclusive perks that they get, and be sure to check out that blue join button. Anyway, let's begin. So don't take this video as I heart specialists. Specialists are the best implementation in Battlefield ever. Personally, I don't think that they're implemented 100% correctly. I would prefer classes, and I just feel like this is an idea that needs some work in order for the game to kind of feel a little bit more like Battlefield and function in a little bit better and a little bit more of a structured manner. That doesn't mean that we can't take advantage of the specialists that we have in the game so far, and there is one that I keep going back to, but I want to add a disclaimer before I tell you who it is. Each specialist has actually been surprisingly well balanced. While the system itself isn't implemented well, they are well thought out and balanced against one another, and it kind of goes back to that idea that this game might have been built around Hazard Zone, but we're not going to talk about that today. The specialist that I'm talking about, and the one that fits my gameplay style the most, is of course Sundance. They offer some of the most unique and variety-filled loadouts that you can put together to attack various different situations. Now again, disclaimer, each specialist does fit a certain type of playstyle and a certain role. I'm not saying you should grab Sundance and try to bulldoze into positions, because that's not what Sundance is good at. Sundance is amazing at infiltrating, and one of the things that I almost like you have to run with Sundance is going to be a silencer on your weapon. It doesn't matter what weapon you run, of course, you can pick any weapon you choose, but a silencer is a must. If you don't know, silencers keep you off the minimap when you fire your weapon. Of course, if you're flying over the enemy to get behind them, which is my preferred playstyle with Sundance, act as sort of an infiltrator, you got plenty of high positions to get to fly over them. You want to run with a silencer, otherwise you're going to be seen and shot as soon as you fire your weapon. In order to avoid that, of course, silencer, you're good to go. You can take them out from behind, you can knife them, shoot them, whatever you want to do. You won't be detected until, of course, someone turns around and sees you, or somebody says, hey, I just got shot by this Sundance that's behind us. Go get them. You'll be fine. Now, one of the other cool parts about Sundance and why they're so versatile is, of course, the Smart Grenade suite. Each Smart Grenade offers something to go against a unique situation. So say you're behind enemy lines, you have scatter grenades in case you come across a cluster of enemies. Toss them in there, take a few of them down with you, finish off the stragglers. You also have anti-vehicle grenades, so say you come across a tank, you can throw that at it, it'll lock on and take it out. You also have EMP grenades, so you can disable tanks and other light vehicles as well. It's a pretty cool variety of options that Sundance has, and it allows you to be pretty versatile in just about any situation behind enemy lines. It's not, of course, the most powerful set of grenades in the world. They're not obscenely overpowered or anything like that, but they can help do some damage and get you out of a potential pinch. Now, one of the cool things, and one of the reasons that I love that Sundance has this grenade suite, is of course the fact that you don't have to run a frag grenade in your other grenade slot. If you want to run smokes so that you can cover an approach, you can run that. If you want to run, say, a proximity sensor to spot enemies in the area so you can go around even more sneakily and take them out, you can run that as well. And it adds to that variety that you have on the battlefield, especially since you're really going to be lone wolfing a decent amount with Sundance. And even if you're not lone wolfing, having something like a proximity sensor or a smoke grenade when you are pushing with your squad mates can greatly help them as well. So you can have really both situations and do well and help the team or yourself in either one, and it's just a really clutch specialist to run in that aspect. Now, after all that, you still have the other gadget slot open, and you can really run pretty much anything in this slot. If you want to run an M5 recoilless to take out vehicles, you don't have to, but you can. I wouldn't necessarily recommend the AA launcher unless the helicopters are just that bad, but you don't really, unless you have like a Nav and Rao in your squad to disable them, you really don't have a good way to use it. Taking on a helicopter in a 1v1 with an AA rocket really isn't going to do much for you, just because they're likely just going to fly away and then you're not going to see them. So you could use it as a deterrent if you want to keep the helicopter out of the area, but I wouldn't go for this most of the time. Now, the ones that I would go for are, of course, C5. I don't know if you've seen Flak Fire's clips of him flying over skyscrapers and dropping C5s on people's heads and then detonating it on the way down. It's pretty funny, and you can do it as a sort of hit hard and get out sort of drop in, drop out package. I think that could be pretty fun, and I think it's a playstyle that could be really nice to get some of those pesky rooftop campers in a mode like Breakthrough. Another thing that you can run, of course, is an ammo crate. If you are one of those lone wolf infiltrators, then you're probably going to run out of ammo. Now, of course, you can pick up things like bullets off of enemies that you've taken down, but if you want to reload on, say, smoke grenades, proximity sensors, or maybe your M5 recoilless, then you're going to need a loadout crate to reload on those. Now, one of the nice things is your smart grenade suite does reload on its own via a cooldown, so you will have those pretty much all the time as long as you haven't just thrown them, but other than that you will have them. But for those other gadgets to help keep you maximized in your potential on the battlefield, you probably could run with an ammo crate to be able to get those things back and keep yourself on the move as long as need be. Now, of course, I would recommend mostly to stay with your squad if possible to reload, and if you do infiltrate, I would definitely do it as a sort of get in, get out type of deal. One thing to keep an eye on and keep your awareness up is to not only find a high place to get into an area, but find a high place to get back out so that you don't have to just stay there until you die and then spawn back on your friends. Of course, you can do that, but I wouldn't recommend that just because obviously you don't want to die and cost your team tickets, especially since you'll probably not have a medic around. So like I said, find a high place to jump in, fly over the enemy, take them out from behind, and then find another high place. There's plenty of them. DICE did a good job designing the maps for almost this specialist in particular. Find another high place to get back out of there, fly back over the enemy and get back to friendly lines, and then you can push with your team having just devastated their defense, and that's going to help take a lot of objectives for the squad. So to wrap up, Sundance is my personal favorite specialist to run on the battlefield. They're just so versatile, and there's so many different ways that you can have fun using them on the battlefield. That doesn't mean that she is 100% the clear-cut most powerful one. There are definitely other specialists that I recommend running that serve various roles. And just as I said in the beginning of this video, find which specialist works best for you and run it in their specified role. I am going to be making a guide as to which specialist fits which team role the absolute best and which one you should run, so subscribe for that. Anyways, let me know down below what your favorite specialist is, and I will see you guys in the next video.